Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Alyssa Maloney. Our next guest brought a different message to the Teach Truth Day of Action with his children's book, reading the past weekend in Virginia, drawing a huge crowd and the latest stop on his Brave Story Hour tour. We are joined once again in studio by actor, filmmaker, and author of As You Grow, Kirk Cameron. Thanks so much for joining us again. It's great to see you.
My pleasure. Great to see you again, too.
Yeah, so you read your new book, Pride Comes Before the Fall, a tale about the importance of humility, whose release coincides with LGBTQ Pride Month. Tell us more about that.
Well, we've been going across the nation since Christmas time, reading children's book of virtue, wisdom, biblical wisdom, and the fruit of the Spirit. Now, we feel it's important to talk to kids about the importance of humility. So this is a perfect time for the book to come out. It's called Pride Comes Before the Fall, and that's true. Everyone knows that someone who exalts themselves ends up being humbled. And kids are getting out of school, summer reading programs are coming, and so we're touring the nation talking about the importance of humility and considering others above ourselves.
That's so important. You just were in Loudoun County over the weekend. You took a dig at the Teach Truth Day of Action. You took this photo. Talk to us a little bit about this photo that we're going to show. And you said in a tweet, you kind of explained it, but tell our viewers more about what we're seeing here.
Well, there's a group, Teach Truth, out there, and it's ironic that I was actually teaching truth across the hall from them, and they're exchanging truth for a lie and a lie for truth and calling it truth. And this is why I think it's so important that we get back in front of the educational process for our kids, and as parents, we teach them the truth. Pride is actually the opposite of love. Love is about others, pride is about self. And so if we really want to be about loving others, we ought to have a month called Humility Month rather than Pride Month. And that's why I'm teaching kids the importance of considering others and their needs above our own.
Yeah, you had about 700 people who came to this event. I think, you know, when you turn on the news, you think there's these loud voices that talk about things that we don't want our children learning, and you think that there's only a small minority of parents like us or teachers who want to instill values, but that's not the case based on 700 people coming in Loudoun County to your event.
And it was at least that. We had 3 readings that came and filled the room, the whole library to capacity. They couldn't put more in, and many of them never even got to hear the reading. So perception is often not reality. And with news and media pumping out a narrative that is not true, it riles up people to say, we have a voice, and we want you to know that we want to get back to the values that bring blessing to our children.
What have parents said to you about this?
Thank you. Over and over, thank you. This is what we... And most parents and grandparents out there that have been around long enough to see the decline morally and spiritually, economically and politically, realize that we're at a tipping point. We're going to go over the falls, and there's going to be a crash and some destruction unless we turn things around. And the way we turn things around is we get back to humility, faith, virtue, thinking of other people, and these are the values that I'm trying to teach little kids and inspire parents to live out in front of their children.
You know, I just was at a conference this weekend in Texas, and there were young leaders there, young girls, high school, college, and they were talking about the importance of family and what they've been learning in school. And it just amazes me, it scares me a little about what they're teaching in school, but the importance of what they were learning, they didn't take that home because of the family, because of their faith. And I think your books, too, can teach kids at such a young age, especially when there's so much noise out there. We've got Anheuser-Busch, we have Target, we have all this stuff that's surrounding us. But, you know, you can really just go back to the basics, right?
Absolutely. We must go back to the basics. George Washington, our first president, founding father, said that fearless faith and moral integrity, virtue, being good in your heart are the 2 indispensable supports of a free republic like ours. Otherwise, we don't get to do this news show anymore. Because we'll have a government-run news station that pumps out one narrative that puts people in bondage. If we want freedom and liberty and prosperity and security, we need the ability to govern ourselves, and we can't do it without humility.
You're right. And great parents in books like this. Kirk Cameron, always great to see you. Thank you so much. God bless you, too. Thank you so much. All right, stay